All right, we're all finished. Let's do the little old white glove test here. I came across a product that I'm sure a lot of you guys use, but chances are you're using it incorrectly. There is a much cheaper alternative to even buying that product, which isn't expensive, but you can buy that at your local CVS or Walgreens. I'm going to show you guys exactly what that product is, but really quick, I just want to go through my cleaning process because I know some people watching this video are going to be asking. So quickly, we have our Prebsol. I spray my whole panel down. Then I'll take a dry rag, I'll fold it. After I wipe it down wet, I'll flip it to the dry side. I'll go over everything with the dry side until all that Prebsol is evaporated. Next, I will grab my water cleaner. This is also made by One Choice. This is SWX 350. Unfortunately, there are no cheap alternatives to this. Now, this is going to kill the static coming off of my panel. So what I do is I spray my whole panel down and I spray the surrounding areas because it will leave behind a tacky film that will kind of lock down any dirt or dust that I might not have wiped. And then one dry, and it does a great job at eliminating static and cleaning those really tough dirt spots. You know how when you're painting a white car and you got that dirty fingerprint mark that just won't seem to come off? This stuff gets it off 1, 2, 3. This used to be my entire cleaning process. After this, I would blow all my panels down, and then panel by panel, as I'm getting ready to apply my sealer, I would tack rag. So I'd come in here, I would tack rag this quarter, seal this quarter, move on to my tailgate, tack it, seal it. So I wouldn't tack it until I was ready to put my sealer on. The only problem with this cleaning method or process is that tacking it right before I'm going to put my sealer on is reintroducing that static charge to the panel. And the only way you can actually get to spray on a panel with no static charge is the static gun, or so I thought. The product we're talking about today, SX103, also by One Choice. I'll show you the right way to use that stuff, and I'll tell you what the cheaper alternative is. I wanted to also mention this. Do not mind the catastrophe I have going on here. Things have been crazy lately. Anytime you are mixing something that uses a hardener, you need to use a strainer. Even if you use cups that have the built-in strainer, you still need to pour this stuff through a strainer before it goes in your cup, because this stuff will start to crystallize, I believe, 2 weeks after it's open. Now, this stuff never sits there longer than 2 weeks, but I still do it because I notice my jobs come out cleaner when I run my hardeners through strainers. Because if they do start to crystallize in here, what happens is when you put it in your gun, you put your filter top on, you put it in your gun, those crystals will actually start to shear your filter, which obviously is going to allow any contaminants that are in there to get in your gun and onto your panel. Now, back in the booth. Okay, so at this point we have everything Prebsol and everything water clean. We're going to take our air. We are going to go over our panels with the air exactly as if we were painting them. So like this. That's basically going to ensure that any loose dust or dirt that your paint gun might kick up gets off the panel. All right, so we got a giant piece of plastic here, right? And I just tack ragged this. See that? After you tack rag, even though you use your water cleaner, you reintroduced the static charge to the panel. Now, for those of you who use SX103 to eliminate static, chances are you spray it on and then you wipe it off. But problem, you're creating static by doing that. So what's the right way to do it then? Ta-da! What you want to do is put your SX103 in your gun. Give it a light mist on your panel. Like so. Now let's try that again. All right, let's try it again. All right, let's try it one more time. You see that, guys? No more static. So with no static gun, I'm able to apply my product to the panel perfectly clean with no static. Now for the rest of this video, we're gonna focus on this tailgate because if you paint cars, you know these new parts with all these holes and all this open space for dirt and dust to sit, these are the hardest panels to get to come out spotless. By the way, some guys will tell you go in one direction like this, right? I've tried that, and I've also tried just wiping it down like this. I can't say I've ever noticed a difference, no matter which way you go about it. So tack rag your panel however you want to tack rag your panel. Now that I'm all done tack ragging, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, get off of me. We will take our SX103, same thing. Give the entire panel a mist. And I mean, this stuff dries basically instantly. You see it. Just make sure when you apply it like this that it's not staying wet on the panel, because that can cause you problems. Because what this stuff is actually just 90% isopropyl alcohol. There are a couple other little things mixed in, but you can go to CVS, Walgreens, wherever you can find isopropyl alcohol, buy some of that, throw it in the gun, and do the same thing I'm doing here with the SX103. Look at that, guys. Right off. Right off. That stuff works like magic. See that? Now we're ready to put our sealer on. So now you have a clean panel and a static free panel that you do not have to touch again before you start applying your sealer or paint, whatever it is. Now that we have a clean and static free panel, we'll go ahead and apply our sealer, and then we'll take a real close-up look to see how clean our sealer comes out. All right, we'll let this flash off, and then we'll inspect it for any dust spots, which I can tell you, I don't see a single one right now. All right, our sealer is just about flashed off, and there is literally not one speck of dust on this entire panel, which I could tell you, even for me in a downdraft booth, this is not something that's common at all. I think this is something that will be especially helpful for you DIY guys who don't have a booth and are painting in a garage. I am positive if you do this, your jobs will come out twice as clean as they do right now. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a wet coat on this thing, and right after I finish throwing the wet coat on, I'm gonna turn the camera back on and show you guys what it looks like, because it will be really easy to see if there's any dirt or dust when we have freshly laid wet paint on that panel. Okay, an absolute fresh coat on this panel, and guys, there is not one single speck of dirt or dust on this entire thing. All right, I just finished basing this thing all out, ready to put my clear on, but I just want to show you guys how this looks before I put this clear on. I got the camera zoomed in a little bit for you guys, and I mean, you can clearly see Using that SX103 left us with an absolutely spotless panel. Now let's clear it up and check out our finished results.
She's clean!
All right, we're all finished. Let's do the little white glove test here. And as you guys can see, there is not a speck of dust on thee. This is incredible. There is no way you guys are gonna tell me that you tried this method, job didn't come out cleaner than it ever did in your life before this video. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you got any value out of it, if you could, please consider leaving one of these up on the video. And always remember, until the next time, peace!